friends, look at this. You want toast, you've got toast. You want fried bread, you've got that. Sausages, hash browns, tomatoes, mushrooms, bacon, beans, and a fried egg. This is going to be a good breakfast with TNC. Morning guys, Sunday morning breakfast with TNC, and we have gone big. Look at this, the big breakfast from the Beach Cafe in Hemsby. They've gone all out today. We've got a lot to talk about, but in the last episode I did see you guys giving some, well, constructive feedback. They were saying, Jack, why don't you eat the breakfast first? Surely it goes cold. Well, I've taken that on board and I'm going to eat this before I get into it. See you in a bit. Well, as you can see, that breakfast was pretty much finished off. Let me move this mug just so you can see. The only thing I've left are the tomatoes. Grilled tomatoes, still not a massive fan. I'm a fan of tomatoes, don't get me wrong. I'm not dissing tomatoes as a whole, but grilled tomatoes, not for me. Anyway, that breakfast was a thing of dreams. I'm rating that as the best breakfast I have ever had on Breakfast with TNC. We've got live music in the background, which I hope you can't really hear, because if not, if you can, probably gonna get done for copyright. This could be the end of the TNC channel, but at least we're going out on a blast. We've got sun, we've got the sea in the background. There is actually an ice cream van down there today. Might go down there in a bit and get one, a little 99. Anyway, lots of Norwich City, well, I say lots of Norwich City news to talk about. There's a fair bit. Let's start with yesterday's game against Brighton. I briefly touched on it in my matchday experience yesterday, but I don't think Norwich City fans can have any moans after yesterday, and in essence, the whole pre-season. I think we've looked controlled. I think we've implemented the tactics that we've probably wanted to do and played with a system that we are going to go with throughout the whole of the season. I think my worry in recent seasons and the failure of Norwich City in recent seasons has been there's been no real plan. It's been very wishy-washy. It's just been kind of, the recruitment's been wishy-washy, the tactics have been wishy-washy. There hasn't been a decisive plan. We now have the foundations built with Stuart Webber and Steve Stone in terms of an off-the-pitch sense. We've got Daniel Farker leading his men in real kind of in a real good way, and we've got players who can implement the tactics that are being set both off and on the pitch, and that can only be positive. But let's have a quick look at the EDP. It's typical, isn't it, that the wind has picked up just as we're filming. At least it's not raining. So back page of the EDP. This is a Saturday and Sunday special. Lovely. Farker is blown away by fine City support, which is of course good to see. There was 13,000 fans at yesterday's friendly, which for a friendly is a pretty decent turnout, I must say. A couple of key quotes I've picked out here. Daniel Farker, he said, "You hear Norwich City and think it's a small club, but the opposite is the case. It's huge here," he said. "Everyone wants to have an autograph, a selfie. For me, that is incredible. To have 22,000 season tickets is absolutely crazy. It's very, very, very focused on football in Norwich." He said very 3 times. He must be happy with that. And also, he said, "We have to initiate a major upheaval here at Norwich, lower the wage bill and sell some of the top performers to try and get a transfer surplus. If we succeed, it looks better for us in years to come. This is why our focus is not on players from the English leagues. You know you must get good value, and that comes in the German leagues." Look, it seems already that we've got good value. Marcel Franke looks like a shrewd bit of business. Mario Vrancic looks like a classy player. Zimmerman has played pretty much every single minute of pre-season football, and he looks absolutely fantastic. And you kind of link them with the English players that we've got in, Marley Watkins on a free, and other players like that. It is shaping up to be a very decent squad we've got here, and that only pleases me. I want to touch a little bit more on the Brighton game from yesterday, because I think for the people who were there and people who weren't there, seeing a 1-1 against Brighton is probably pleasing on the surface, but let's dig a little bit deeper, shall we? James Maddison, let's start with him. He got battered on numerous occasions from Glenn Murray. It seemed like Murray just wanted to injure him, and every time he just got up, shrugged his shoulders and got on with it. And that is a very pleasing thing, because you often see with players like Maddison, if they get, knocked first time, they're going to be out of the game, they're not going to be wanting the ball. Maddison, we've just been joined with a bumblebee. Maddison was the opposite, in fact. He wanted that kind of off-the-ball action. He wanted that kind of battle with the players, and that was only good. I spoke about it yesterday, but that midfield pair, and thinking about it, was one of the best midfield pairings I've seen at Norwich City in my lifetime. Harrison Reed, he's like a David Fox, but ginger and a bit smaller and a little bit better, so kind of nothing like David Fox. He zips about the ground, he moves the ball onwards nice and quickly, and he gets the tackles in. He's he's better than Johnny Howson from what I've seen already, and that is a big statement, but I think he's going to be a big player. The big thing is, if he does perform well this season, are we going to be able to make that a permanent deal from Southampton? I don't think so. Put him next to Mario Vrancic, who I can already see as a dead ball specialist. His corners are going to provide a lot of value this season. His haircut is golden, and he's just a top player. I think the interesting thing for Norwich City fans this season, though, is going to be how we approach that kind of attacking lineup. Jerome started yesterday and was okay. I think Oliveira is going to be the man who starts this season. Jerome is going to provide value, don't get me wrong, but I think Oliveira is probably the better player. I think a lot of people would probably agree with me there. Marley Watkins was an interesting one. First of all, what a fantastic goal and a brilliant celebration, fist pumping, and then almost pumping his chest. I hope he hasn't caused any rib damage from that, because it was excessive to say the least. But I love that from Marley Watkins. But he was brilliant. He dropped a little bit deeper than I expected, but we heard from the Barnsley fans, didn't we, that he's going to put in 110% every week, and we can see that already from pre-season. So that was absolutely brilliant. And let's not forget as well, we've gone unbeaten in the pre-season, pretty much without Alex Pritchard, Wes Hoolahan, Josh Murphy, and Tim Closer, four of arguably our best players. And that is an incredible stat when you think about it, because you put them players in and you're really talking then. You really are talking. So that was absolutely brilliant. Let's move away from the Brighton game. All attention now turns to the league campaign and Fulham up on Saturday. But we have had a couple of transfers and rumours. Adam Phillips has joined from Liverpool. We spoke about it in the last breakfast with TNC. We said this was pretty much going to happen, and of course has happened. Now, who is Adam Phillips? Well, 19-year-old central midfielder, was very highly regarded at Liverpool up until about the age of 17, and then he had a horrible back injury which left him out for about 2 years off and on, which is never good for any young player, but fair play to him to come back and already be playing at a decent level in Norwich City. Now, I've heard that Richard Money rates him very, very highly. He's a ball-playing midfielder. He looks about 30, to be fair. His beard is impressive. I was speaking to my good friend Aston Oxbury yesterday, the under-23 keeper, and he said he played with them at England level when he was about 17, and he was by far the best player in that team. So that is high praise from a youth international player. So let's see what Adam Phillips does. I would have thought he's either going to go out on loan or he's going to play in the under-23 squad, because the under-23 squad does look slightly depleted. It's a very young team. I've seen Carlton Morris go out on loan. Jamal Lewis has gone up to the first team. Louis Ramsey's gone out on loan. So the more senior players aren't in that team anymore, which is brilliant. But we do need to kind of bed some more players into that under-23 team. So I fully expect Adam Phillips to go in there. As well as that, we've signed another young player, Pierre Foncu from Bruges. Striker, went out to Germany with us. Looks a very impressive player. Once again, has great hair, so decent. But it's great that we are attracting these kinds of players, and it shows that switch in recruitment policies. Before, we were going for the likes of Malumbu, Lafferty, players who've been there and done it. Lafferty hasn't really been there or done it, but you get the point. Now we're turning our thoughts to signing young players and nurturing them through. Yes, it's going to take time. Yes, it isn't going to be instant. We're not going to be seeing Phillips and Foncu in the first team anytime soon, but at least the thought is there, and at least we're trying to do the right thing, and that really pleases me. As well as that, Tristan Abrahams is a name flying about at the moment. He's an 18-year-old striker from Leyton Orient, scored 2 goals in 9 games for Leyton Orient last season. 18 years old, as I said, a rumoured fee of £250,000, which is peanuts in today's transfer market. And if we do go on to sign him, he's going to be another player who's probably going to go in the under-23 squad and probably going to replace Carlton Morris in that team. So that's pleasing once again. If we can get hold of Tristan Abrahams, that is 3 quality young players who are going to be looking to break into the first team in the next few seasons. So that is brilliant. And let's end things on the purple kit. Myself, I really like it. I actually saw a young lad walking past earlier on. I wish we'd got it on camera, wearing the purple kit. It looked boss. I thought the players looked great in it. We're probably only going to play in it twice this season against Burton and Wolves, maybe. I'm not too sure. But on the whole, nice kit, Marmite kit. Lots of people saying, do we really need a third kit? No, we don't, but it's money, isn't it? And football clubs love money. Everyone loves money. That is today's breakfast with TNC. Hemsby Beach Cafe, get down here, people. I've seen a few of you guys have already come down. Good breakfasts, good views, lovely people. And yeah, let me know your thoughts on the Brighton game. Did you go? I want to know your thoughts on Angus Gunn. Were you happy that he was kind of punting the ball long? I'm probably looking into this a little bit too much. He seemed to have switched his tactics up a little bit from the pre-season tour in Germany. No real worry at all. just a talking point. Adam Phillips, you happy with that signing? Pierre Foncu, do you know anything about him? Tristan Abrahams, I know I've got a few Leyton Orient fans that watch. Let me know your thoughts on him and the purple kit. Are you buying it? If so, why? Are you not buying it? If so, why? Thanks very much for watching. Leave a like, hit subscribe. We're near 12,000 subscribers, so let's try and hit that very soon. And I will see you next week for some more content. Peace out.